This was supposed to be an easy build. I've spent a large time of my life around tools, wood, and just construction in general. I grew up building decks with my dad. I've renovated almost every room imaginable in various houses, and I've even worked 1 year with a general contractor building houses. I never doubted myself more in woodworking than trying to build these two shelves. I recently retired from a career in law enforcement and I decided to pursue my passion for woodworking and try to make a second career. I always loved woodworking in my garage. I've been doing it pretty well with small boxes, humidors, jewelry boxes, cutting boards, etc. So I went legit with a business, got insurance, did all the right things in my state, and started telling people about it. A friend of mine was nice enough to pay me to make her a walnut mantle. Then she wanted 2 walnut bookshelves on the side of her fireplace to match it. I can do that, I said. I mean, I've seen every YouTube video out there. It's just a simple box with a couple shelves in it. How hard can it be? There's a lot in this video of what not to do. For one, take 2 pieces of wood flooring and nail them to the end of the walnut plywood so they stay lined up. Why did I do that? I don't know. Seemed like a good idea at the time. Mainly, I don't have a lot of flat surface in my garage. I don't have a big enough space to really lay these 8-footers out, and I wasn't really sure how to make sure everything was evenly cut. So far, so good. For the shelving on these, the left side of the fireplace is about 14 inches, and then the right side has a 34-inch cabinet. I think the height was about 42 inches high from the finished edge. So here I'm making the nailer cleats just like any other cabinet would be, some pocket holes, attach them to the back of the carcass just like you would a kitchen cabinet or anything else. So far, it seemed like everything was going as planned. In hindsight, I wish I would have used story sticks to measure the shelves. It would have helped with squaring up. I also would have had a much easier time lining things up across the 2 units because the shelving height are supposed to be the exact same on both sides. Here I'm ripping down actual solid walnut for the face frames. I use the walnut plywood for the carcasses just to keep costs down and make sure that the carcasses are actually straight. Now this is where things really started to go off the rails, no pun intended. I, for the life of me, could not figure out how to do this the correct way. It should be simple. Line up your pieces, make some marks, throw some pocket holes in the back, and screw them together. I was so nervous about the face frame not lining up with the shelves that I just couldn't commit to any measurements. I always thought dust collection for a pocket hole jig was overkill, but man, I wish I had it for this project. My plans for the face was to start at the bottom. This way I knew my bottom measurement was right, lie it on the carcass and measure the next rail up, and then so on and so forth. Thought that was going to be a foolproof plan. So this is where story sticks would have made this job so much easier, because I would have already had the measurements, it would have been exactly with the shelves, and would have made this process a lot simpler. But it's from the workpiece to the bench to the workpiece. The worst part of it all is things weren't actually even squaring up, which I could not understand because the shelves were perfectly square. I had attached and reattached the face frames a couple times by now and was starting to get desperate on what to do, so I decided for something dramatic and break out the nail gun. The plan was to set the nail heads high on the gun so I could shoot the pins in and then pull them out later, just fill in with a little bit of putty. That's blowout number one. And that's blowout number two. Oh, and these 18 gauge finish nails, yeah, they don't pull out of hardwood so easily. Fortunately, I had this little piece of wood that this nail blew out, so I was able to get rid of the nail and glue that piece in, which is pretty unseeable now with the finish on. The nails were the worst idea I had. I just couldn't get rid of them. I wound up actually setting them, most of them, with the nail set and then putting a tiny bit of wax putty over them. I really thought this project was going to be destroyed. I didn't know how I was going to come back from this and make the larger one also. I figured if I was going to have firewood, I would at least try to finish it. So here I'm just gluing the edge and was going to attach the face frame permanently with a couple finish nails and set them in also. For the larger one, I was just gonna wing it. Take my measurements, slap it together, and see what happens. I was so confident this was going to work out perfectly that I even hung up my pocket hole bit once I was done with all the holes. Man, that was easy. The rest was just trying to make shoddy craftsmanship look like a nice piece of furniture. And for those of you wondering, yes, I am staining it. Special walnut, min wax. I mean, come on, look at that. So here I'm just milling up some stock, making the tops to both of these cabinets. And because I didn't have anything long enough, I am going to have to do a glue joint in the middle. I did buy a biscuit jointer for this project. I think I got it for like 50 bucks at Harbor Freight. Man, it makes life easy. Winnie. Couldn't quite figure out why my dog was staring at me from the front yard.
Yeah.
It was because a bird had flown into my house, and my wife had the door open trying to shoo it out, and called for me calmly to help her. I couldn't. I was in the middle of a glue-up. Husband of the year right there. Once I had it clamped, I did assist with the bird. It was not harmed. So like every other YouTube video where they use biscuits, you always have to watch for where you cut things. Fortunately, that's going to be on the wall side, so it's not really going to show. but just something to keep in mind. I decided to use General Finishes Armor Seal on this. I've never used it before, but I've seen really good videos and think it's a pretty good finish. So I did 4 light coats on everything, scuffed it with the gray scouring pad in between coats, then wiped it down with mineral spirits, and then the last coat will be just buffed out with some craft paper, trying to get all the little nibs that are still left so it's a buttery smooth finish. These turned out being a lot harder than I expected them. I did think they came out quite nice, and the client is happy with them, so that's all that really matters, but I think I would definitely do things differently next time. What would that difference be? I don't know yet. I'll have to try another project first.